Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 5-5 Portal Dragon Invocation. I am here live to talk to you about, first of all, the number 5. And also about the 2 dragons that are really ushering in this day for us, the abundance, the love, the heart chakra openings. We're going to be talking a lot about abundance and harvest, reaping the harvest, how right now would be when you're reaping those greens and the color green and how it relates to the heart chakra and all of those yummy things. So first off, who am I? I am Karen Terrace. I am the Dragon Doula. I am a Superconscious leadership mentor and the creator of the Superconscious method. What I do is help you to go from living a perfectly amazing, intuitive, conscious life to living a unimaginable dream state, amazing, super conscious life where you are moving every single day, every single thought, every single action is leading you to your highest potential timeline, which is that mission that is on your heart. You've already grown. You've already done so much healing. You've done so many things to get through your childhood traumas, to get through your abusive relationships, to get through the stories that you used to tell yourself. And now you are ready to create that dream life. And what you need is a little bit of fire. And that is what I bring. I help you to know that you are no longer in transition and it's time to push that baby out and to create that life that is of your dreams, which is truly so much bigger than you. And you know that, but it terrifies you. And you wonder, who am I to want such a big, extraordinary life? Who am I to want to help so many people? Who am I to be the person who stops ends world hunger, ends the sex slave trade, ends the abuse of women, ends the wars, ends all of those things? You know that somehow you are meant to do that, and yet your life is pretty fucking good. And you're wondering, like, well, I already have it really well. Who am I to want more, to want bigger, to want better? And it's because you know that in your heart and in your soul, you are meant to do something so fucking big that the universe is, of course, going to continuously support you through your human needs. And what that looks like, honestly, is by knowing that you are simultaneously the teacher and the student of your own life. You're creating, you're moving, you're creating, and you're moving. You learn a lesson, you do whatever you have to do, you do whatever it takes, no matter what. You have relentless focus and relentless discipline to get yourself to where you want to be. To have what you want to have, you need to be the person who has those things. And that person is not who you are right now, or you would have those things that you want. Okay. Having is evidence of wanting. So whatever you have in your life right now, it's what you want, even if it's unconsciously what you want. Even if you've read all of the self-help books, even if you've read all the conscious mentoring and law of attraction and The Secret and Think and Grow Rich and all of those things, even if you understand those things, right now we are being called to get into our super conscious, to have a fully unified will, to have our entire life be in alignment with the divine will of our soul mission, of our highest potential. And the only way we can do that is to stop sitting in the kingdom that we've created and recognize that we are here to create a world. Okay, we are here to create this new earth filled with abundance and prosperity and bliss and joy. Literally the opposite of what we've experienced for the last 5,000 years. That is what we are ushering in. And today with the 5-5 portal, it just smacks. It hits hard right now. Hey, Chase. It hits hard right now because the number 5, it has this culmination. Okay, so the number 4 and the number 1 have this weird relationship to each other, because if you have just 1, you just have like a dot. And then if you've got 2, you just have a dot with like a straight line. So you have this 2-dimensional. And then you have a 3, you get this, you finally have a plane with 3 points. But it's not until you have a 4th point that you have any depth. So the 4 is combined in the 1, into the cube, into the diamond, into the fractal of who you are. Your whole self is made of 4 parts: mind, body, spirit, and emotion. So you see yourself as this cube, and what you can do is, instead of holding yourself in this box and labeling yourself with all these little boxes, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a business owner, you can start to expand your box and start making yourself big and full of all this expansive emotion, and to feel the big feelings, to have the highest highs and the lowest lows, and know that all of it is for your highest good, which is for the highest good of the whole planet, to liberate the whole planet. So the 4 and the 1 having that interesting relationship leads us to the 5. And the 5 in tarot is the Heirophant. And the Heirophant is often looks like this bishop teaching, but when you look deeper into the actual story of the Heirophant and where he comes from, it's this idea of once it's like the best way to learn is to teach, right? So that is what the Heirophant really is showing us, that once you get to a certain point in your journey, you understand that you have magic inside of you. You've unraveled all of it. You've gone through the Fool's journey. You've owned your High Priestess magic. You've become this mothering energy in the Empress, and you've owned and become the provider and protector in the Emperor. Once you've learned how to do that, it's your sacred responsibility to then start teaching other people to do it. It's the reason why so many people who were dramatically changed by life coaches end up becoming life coaches, because you don't have to work in this system of the old paradigm to get your therapy degree and all this other stuff. Because again, I've told you guys 100 times, life coaches, superconscious mentors, consultants, whatever the fuck you want to call them, spiritual leaders, whatever, they're not interested in who you were. We want to know who you are right now and where it is you want to go. And if we have to kind of deal with your past a little bit, that's great. But with the number 5, we're not worried about the fact that we planted some seeds that didn't grow. We are grateful for the seeds that did grow, okay? The harvest that we can reap right now. And if you planted some seeds in February, you might be noticing that right now you're at this 90-day cycle. Maybe you literally planted some seeds in your garden and you're able to go get those spinach and get some carrots and get some celery and get those things. Well, there's really no better way for us to describe the color green than with our heart chakras, right? Our heart chakras are this green, this lush love of Mother Earth. What else is green? Money, right? Wealth, resources. We associate, at least here in America for sure, and I know in other countries, we associate money with the color green because it really is this abundance. So one of the dragons that came up for today is this emerald dragon, and she's sitting in this field of roses, which I know we don't really think about roses in a field, but like just laying on top of all these thousands and thousands of roses. And she really helps us remember that as we open our heart chakra, which is always symbolized by a 33 petaled rose, it's the heart, the way of Mother Mary. Jesus often has a lot of heart chakra openings associated with him. It's this abundance, this cornucopia of abundance that we receive as we open ourselves to give of ourselves more, that service. When we can be in full service to the planet, when we really and truly understand it in our depths and our souls that our mission is so much bigger than our individual lives, then the universe just clicks into place, and this emerald green dragon comes in and says, here, babe, you need a grant to be able to do this and create your nonprofit. Here, you want to be able to run for your city council and you need a lot of volunteers. Here, you need to get out of this narcissistic relationship. Here, let me provide you a new friend who happens to be a divorce attorney. You will notice these synchronicities and this magic that right now is only showing up as like angel numbers, and every once in a while, like, yeah, your life is pretty cool. Again, your life is amazing. You have a fucking amazing life. But you go to bed at night and you're like, wow, I must be some selfish bitch because I want so much more. Every time I try to not want more and to just settle and be grateful for what I have, I'm so fucking grateful, but I know that I have this mission, this fire in my belly that I need to do. And anytime you start to stifle it, you notice that your life source is starting to get stifled. You're shutting yourself down to service because you are afraid that as you serve more, that you are going to get too bright. Like, people need to wear sunglasses just to be in your space. And instead of dimming your light so that they can take their sunglasses off, no, you need to teach them how to get big and bright too, so that their eyes adjust to living in that level of brightness. Okay? That is what this emerald green dragon really teaches us to do with full on support from the universe to know that as you serve higher and higher levels in your timeline, as you step in as the Heirophant, as the person who has already done the journey and is teaching other people, you are then capable of telling your story, and your story could change thousands and thousands of people's lives. There's a reason why storytelling is the most universal way of communicating in humans. Like, it's literally how our brains are wired, is to understand facts and figures via stories. It's why they make you do all those stupid fucking story problems in math, because we know that stories help you retain information. So the more that you hear other people's stories and you're like, oh my gosh, that's similar to what I went through. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that that's how she did that. Holy shit, that's how she got to where she is. You start being able to believe inside of yourself, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And that little bit of competition starts turning on, and you start opening up your ideas, and we start questioning what it is that you thought you were certain of and you thought you knew for sure. And you start questioning those things. Well, what if I don't know that? What if there's something more? What if? And your what if starts spiraling upwards in this amazing, expansive, blissful state of what is possible, instead of the downward spiral, which is what society wants you to do. Well, what if this bad thing happens and then this bad thing happens, and you start catastrophizing your whole life? The energy of what if only matters what direction you're focusing in, because it's still an imagination thing. It's still your own brain creating all these play out scenarios. So instead of thinking like, what if your car blew up? What if you got given a new Lexus for free tomorrow? Because you don't really need money. Like, the universe, you don't have to exchange money for things. You can, but I've gotten, like, my dog. Okay, I told you guys I was going to tell the story about the dog, and I will in just a second. But I didn't pay a single dime for him until after I had him, and I paid for these things that he needed, but not any adoption fee. So let's move into that before I tell that story. What is it that you really need to receive that abundance? What is it that you need to be given, like, to be able to accomplish all these things that you want, and to be able to receive the resources to accomplish? What is the focal point frequency that you need to be on all the time? Pretty obvious one, right? We've already been talking about the heart chakra. Love. So Quan Yin's pink dragon is all about bringing this high frequency of love to the point where she's able to completely just disintegrate all karmic ties. So Quan Yin's pink dragon is the one that you call upon to, when you're doing a cord cutting, instead of just thinking like, oh my gosh, this person is psychically attacking me, I need to make sure I cut my cords and put up all of my psychic boundaries. Instead of doing that, what you do instead is really focus on love. How can I love this person and know who they are and what role they're playing for me? Because when someone triggers you, it's a part of who you are that you can't accept and love within yourself. I talk about this all the time. The reason why I can love Donald Trump is because he shows me, this unprecedented way to be president. And he also shows me like the narcissistic sides of me, the things that I have a hard time really loving and accepting, but I know that I possess because I'm a whole and complete person. We possess all of it. It's just, how much are we stuffing it down? How much are we refusing to accept that we do have the capacity to be that way? And if we have the capacity to judge other people's in such harsh, intense ways, we also have the capacity to love them and to just look at them and witness them in whatever role they're in. And you don't have to explain yourself or have to get them to understand your side of the story. You can just let them know, like, I choose to believe that this is my path. And you are welcome to choose to believe your path. But these paths are not working. And so for our own higher levels of existence, we need to disintegrate these cords. So it's no longer a cord cutting. It's this disintegration of just like blasting it with this fiery breath of pure love, that passion that fire that burns in your belly for what it is you want to be and do and have in this world, allows you to then send out this fire to disintegrate all cords that are no longer serving your highest capacity of love, and to lovingly release it so that any animosity and any negativity associated with those relationships that you're cutting cords with is just, and I always see it as like these little embers, these little sparks like coming off of people. And now those sparks are just neutral energy that either they can use again to create something beautiful or someone else in the sphere. I love days like today when there's so many people. Thank you. There's so many people who are doing a clearing, or the 5-5 portal is open, because I can feel all this new energy that I have access to that is neutralized. And even if the person who did it, the cord cutting, didn't do it the way I just described it, I know with my capacity to love that any sort of free floating, free radicals in the ether, as it comes into my sphere, gets neutralized into pure love, and then I can use it to create whatever I want. So by staying constantly in the frequency of love, and sometimes that means just not engaging, right? If someone's trolling you on the internet, sometimes the best thing to do isn't to like block them on Facebook, although sometimes you have to put up that strong of a boundary if they're like really messing with, like, if that's your discernment. I don't tend to block people unless they're making actual threats to me. For the most part, I just start ignoring them. And the thing that bullies hate more than anything is being ignored. So then they ramp it up and they ramp it up, and I continue to just ignore them. And it really is because of who I'm becoming. As I grow and become this superstar, this giant shooting star heading straight towards the biggest, brightest, most amazing adventure of my life, living out loud, loving out loud, being fully and fearlessly authentic me 100% of the time, I'm not going to have time to reply to all the haters. I'm not going to have the capacity or the time to read my comments. I'm going to have other people, like, that those people don't actually look at their own social media. Right? Some of them a little bit, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, who are you going to be, and how would they respond to what's going on in your life right now? That is super consciousness. It's being able to project your consciousness into the future version of you and then step up every day. And the future version of you loves everyone, loves this whole world so much that they are willing to stand up and be a sovereign and say, look, this is what your life can be like. Your life can be this bright. Your life can be this beautiful. And no, it's not selfish. And no, you're not entitled to any of it. But if you work your ass off, you're still probably not going to get it. Because it's not about working. It's not about putting in hard work. It's about having relentless focus on what it is that you desire. Actually receiving it, that's a different thing. People use the word love all the time. I've heard you use it. Like to hear how you describe it and what it is. So for me, love is the feeling of, that's a really good question. So describing the word love is really difficult because our emotions don't actually have words. So when I think about love, I think about pure just acceptance. So there isn't any judgment. I can just look and see the whole being just perfect as they are, as a pure reflection of God. I know that every single human and every animal, every rock, every tree, every experience on this planet was made for us to have a lesson. And because I love this game of life, I love all the lessons that I can learn. So absolutely using the word love can be difficult, especially when we think about it just as relationships and we just think about it as lust and sex and not actually as like, I love that my body is made up of water and that I understand that water holds a frequency and that water holds memories and that I am capable of programming my own memories and therefore I'm able to program my water. It's this new, again, super consciousness is looking and seeing the world in whatever way helps you create your highest future. But what that really means is that you have to know that you are the one creating it. I don't really love the word worthiness because worthiness like implies something external. The only way that you're worthy of anything is because you decided that you were going to put in the effort to create it. You were going to take the action. The action itself doesn't have to be hard work. It just has to be an action. So for an example, my dog, I'll tell the dog story now. I had wanted a dog for about a month. So last December, we had to put down my cat Hades. He was my best fucking friend, super sweet black Maine Coon. He had a genetic defect that kicked in at 7 years old. We had no idea. We brought him into the vet after a day of him just like whining super bad, and we thought that it was a bladder stone. And they called us not even 10 minutes later. They're like, his temperature is 9 degrees below. He's not going to make it. And we put him down, and it was really hard, like super devastating. And then sometime around in bulk, so somewhere around February, maybe March, I just really wanted a dog. Like I just wanted some, like usually I want a baby because my baby's going to be 3, but my husband had a vasectomy. I don't want a baby. And I really wanted to have a dog. I've always been a cat person, but to be able to go hiking with and to just create that new bond and to have, really something to train, someone to train, someone to not having to be obedient. Like it sounds very like abusive if I try to describe this, but instead of making my kids have to obey me and be obedient to me, it's better and healthier for me to channel that into a dog, which is expected to be that way, right? And is actually like trained already, and he's a great dog. So anyway, I digress. I wanted this dog, and I didn't want just like any dog. I wanted a puppy because we have a cat still. And my husband, however, he wanted it to be a rescue. For sure, it had to be a rescue. We weren't going to just get a puppy from a puppy mill. And he wanted a bigger dog, one that was going to end up being like a medium, large size dog, because that way the cat and him wouldn't get into a fight or whatever. Like a dog's still going to get hit by a cat. But it was like he was pretty specific. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And I kept looking at dogs, and none of them really hit with him. And I liked some of them, and I would message the shelters or they wouldn't work out. And so for like 4 to 6 weeks, I'm doing this. And right around Easter, I gave up. All of the shelters were so inundated with all these people that were giving up their dogs, and the turnover was super fast. They were getting like 300 messages a day from people that either wanted to bring their dog in or adopt them out, plus the whole COVID thing where you couldn't actually go in and you had to make appointments. So I just went like this to the universe, and I was like, fine, you know my stipulations. And I post to the local Facebook group for Conwood Heights City. And I put a picture of my kids up from Easter morning. And I'm like, I've got 3 kids. They're 3, 11, and 5. And we are looking for a forever dog. We're hoping for a medium large breed that's going to be good with the kids. It's going to be good with the cats. It's going to want to go on hikes and camping with us, who's hopefully a rescue and who's under 2 years old. Okay, done. Just put it out there. A day or two later, I'm in the middle of some intense meditation on how my money blocks, like why I haven't been able to work through my business to scale it as big as I want it to. And I start having these realizations about what it actually means to have full-on financial independence and the intense responsibility that it is to be a millionaire, and how much, how all the different things that actually comes from having that level of money. Like, what are they worried about? What is it like to have to worry about being sued or slander or any of these things that you don't really ever really think about until you're about to crush it and have a whole lot of money. And then all of a sudden these new fears start coming up. And I realized that I really wanted to have like some sort of emotional support that, like, it's not really my husband's job to have to do that. This is my business. This is my baby. It's not our baby like our children, where I expect him to be much more like involved. This is my baby. So I have all that, like, my life is pretty much, I wouldn't say crumbling, but like it was a really big realization to have that the reason why I was blocking myself was because I was afraid of having that level of money. Right? It was like, you would think, oh, you're afraid of being scarce. Like, no, I was afraid of like, what does it actually mean to be a millionaire? And like, what is that responsibility actually like? Hey, Erica. Hey, Jennifer. So a couple of days more go by, and I'm hiking with, and like 2 days after that realization, this guy messages me and is like, I think I have the perfect dog for you. And he tells me about this cute little lab hip mix that he had just gotten on Saturday, the previous Saturday, so like 5 days before, that was great with his kids that were also ages 5 to 11, and who was great with the cat, like didn't really care about the cat, was really sweet dog, but that guy's older dog didn't like the new puppy and was biting him and was just terrorizing him. And he's like, he's this really sweet puppy, but we just can't keep him. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I want this. I was like, yes, this is the universe, like showing me that's what I needed. Like this support, this emotional support, way to focus, to put me into a regimen, a dog that is used to going hiking and these things that I wanted to do. I just, dogs give you an actual fucking reason to have to go on a walk every day. Right. And like if you're a really good dog owner, obviously. But now I'm going hiking 2 times a day when I never used to hike on my own, ever. And I was like, yes, absolutely, I want this dog. And then nothing. I hear nothing. 6 o'clock comes around. I text the guy like I was supposed to. Nothing. The next day I text him. I'm like, I told my family about this dog, like you showed us the pictures, like we're really excited. I get it if you've changed your mind, but like, could you tell me? Nothing. Facebook Messenger, nothing. Texting, nothing. I hear nothing. So I go hiking with so that was on Thursday, and then Friday I hear nothing. Saturday I go hiking with my friend up the canyon, and it's up this same canyon that I'm now taking my dog up every single day, but I'd never been up this canyon before. And there's all these dogs going up the canyon, and they're so cute. And my friend has a dog, and we're having this beautiful, amazing, such a beautiful day. And I'm talking to him about all the breakthroughs I'm having. He's one of my really good friends, and he and I really support and like push each other. And we're just like having this super amazing day. And I'm just like, I want a puppy. And there's all these other people around there like, so get a puppy. And I'm like, I almost had one. Just like put some juju in the world for me. Okay. And just like very like casually, but very sternly, like, I want a puppy. Because I just like couldn't handle the cuteness and the sweetness and the running around. It was so awesome. We go back to my friend's house and I help him meal prep and we have a really good day. It's still, again, like this really awesome of like these realizations. I was just like, okay, you know what? This is also a friend of mine who's a trust fund baby. So he actually understands having a whole lot of money. So I was like, okay, like, now I understand, like, thank you. This is a really awesome conversation for me to have. We finished meal prepping and we go upstairs, and I left my phone upstairs so that I could focus on my friend and not be fucking rude, like in my phone. And I have a text message from the guy. Like, I am so sorry. My phone broke. I don't use like Facebook on my, like at home or any of those things because of the whole COVID thing. I had to wait 2 days for my phone to come back. This is what he told me. Whether or not it's true, it's what he told me. And what was funny is that like during the course of the day, I'd even told my friend about the dog. And I was like, yeah, I bet you his wife has just like decided that like, whatever, dude, you just have to deal with it. Right. I made some assumptions, which I shouldn't have, but whatever. And the guy's like, I got my phone. Do you still want the dog? I'm like, yes, I want the dog. And he's like, okay, I paid a $200 adoption fee for him, but I don't want anything for this dog. Just like, here's his bed, here's his food, let's meet at the park and you can have this dog. Literally provided me with this dog who is the perfect dog for me. Literally, he's only 5 months old. He's shown me so much unconditional love. He's shown me what it really means like to like have this companion that is there all the time, that doesn't need to really understand what you're talking about, is just there, who really forces me to like get off of my ass and go get into shape. Like, yeah, I've lost all this weight over the last 2 years. I was a size 14 in 2018. I'm now a size 2. But I wasn't exercising. I wasn't eating like all these different ways. It's all been this metaphysical, super conscious change within me has allowed my actual, supermodel self to come out and shine, because that's who I live as every single day. But I wanted to get into shape. I want to be hiking. I live in Utah, guys. It's so fucking pretty out there. Never had gone hiking by myself. And now I'm doing it 2 times a day. And you know what? My business is growing. People are coming in like crazy. My freaking methodology is finally getting it down into a course that's going to be available for you. I'm getting people who want me to be on their podcast. Like, my entire mission is continuously blowing up as I've been more in alignment with this unconditional love of, holy shit, I manifested a dog in 4 hours. I demanded that I wanted a puppy and I had him. I realized all these things about up-leveling and this and that. And now I'm being supported by the universe. And look, this money's coming in and that money's coming in and this opportunity's coming in. And my life is literally to the point where I think something and it's happening within a day or two. I set a goal and it happens like that. It's like, gotta really be discerning in what you think, because one day you might think something and that thing happens and you're like, oh, oops. Because that's what it means to be that powerful of a magician. That's what magic really is having that faith that when you command something, when you focus your energy towards something, it's going to happen. Consciousness is like, yeah, I'm certain this is how the word works, and this is where my trauma was, and this is the way I am. And you kind of just like, you understand how things, that you're very certain and you understand, but you're not going to think outside of your little box. And then when you start dealing with the unconscious thoughts, like you're letting everything in, you're opening all of your boxes and you're letting all of the Pandora shit out just to figure out what is it that you really like? What is it that really turns you on? What really sparks that magic? And then to move into the superconscious, this full abundance of love, you have to really and truly be able to just be like, I am the teacher and the student simultaneously all day, every day. I am constantly taking actions, like being straight up Miss Frizzle. Take risks, make mistakes, get messy, right? Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. That is what it's like to, like, it's called the magic school bus with unlimited resources on it. So, let's do a dragon invocation, shall we? Really want you to just focus on these pictures. Today's invocation is going to be really focusing on this pink dragon, cutting all those karmic cords, anything that isn't in the alignment with your highest good, and allowing you to really look for the divine around you. Like, if having is evidence of wanting, you don't need to judge yourself for what you have and be like, shit, well, I apparently want this. Like, wow, that's really fucked up of me. No, you get to love the fact that you are that powerful of a creator, that your unconscious thoughts were able to create this life, and you have it because you must unconsciously want it. And if you actually have something on your heart that's bigger, right? Because again, so many of you have a life that is actually really fucking awesome. You have your amazing business. You have the awesome partner. You have the great kids. You have worked your ass off to heal the shit out of all of your stories. And yet, there are some days that you are on the floor crying because you know on your heart that there is something more that you are supposed to be doing. And you are saying, why me? Why me? Like, why am I supposed to do this? And who am I to want that thing that is so fucking huge? Who am I to want to be the youngest president of the United States and the first female president of the United States of America at 35 years old? Who the fuck am I? I am Karen Terrace. I am here to serve in the highest capacity of love, to liberate all beings, to recognize their sovereignty in creating their lives exactly as they desire it to be. And all you have to do to have that dream life, to be filled with the abundance of the emerald dragon that literally brings you a cornucopia of resources. That superconscious magic is living a life in a constant stream of miracles. The Course of Miracles tells us that miracles are normal. And if you're not receiving miracles every single day in your life, then there is a block and you need to find it. And what was I saying yesterday? The only way to unblock a block is to just recognize that it's a block. That it's just a block. It's not a full wall. Put it back in the path. Fill up your yellow brick road again and keep walking on to Oz. Okay, so dragon invocation. If you've never done one before, let me explain real quick. We're going to be calling on these two dragons, which we already have by talking about them. And what you're going to do is you're going to tune into your dragon self. So your higher self consciousness, in one point or another, you lived a experience as a dragon in a higher dimensional 7th, 9th, 13th, whatever fucking dimension you want, plane of reality, where you were a dragon, where you had the magic of the kundalini. You were able to ascend and descend your creative flow instantaneously, create what we humans would consider miracles, like instant manifestation. And you know your divine purpose here on earth, as like the dragon self knows your divine human mission. The mission you are like, okay, everyone, I'm gonna, stop being a dragon. I'm gonna go be human to serve this mission on Gaia. You can tap into that version of you. That's part of being super conscious, is that all of a sudden you have access to telepathy and channeling and inner earth beings and extraterrestrials and all of this new information, because you're no longer only using 5% of your conscious mind. You are expanding it and expanding it and expanding it. You're taking that cube and expanding it and expanding it and expanding it. So you want to just expand your energy as far as you can and allow the messages to be received. As the number 5 portal, we have to remember that humans, we are what? We're a big pentagram, right? We're a big number 5. So make sure that when you're doing this, you are literally expanding out into the fullness of your human form, but allowing your super conscious, your dragon, your higher self, whatever, however you see yourself, your holy guardian angel, is still like you are fully encompassed as a human body. You're capable of holding that level of energy if you want it in your body, but you can actually send it out because you're this big giant star, and you're allowed to be a big bright fucking giant star. You don't have to stay this like meek, dim little like human that kind of exists. You can be a giant fucking star. Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Let it all land. I want you all to just imagine your heart chakra now. It's, wow, that was fast. A really beautiful green orb. And there's also pinkish hues in there. And just continue to open it. Or actually, at first I just want you to notice, like, can you see the rose in your heart? And how does the rose look? Is it a bright green or a bright pink? Is it dull? Is it just black and gray and withered? Is it open a little bit? Is it just barely blooming? Is it wide open? Just take a second to take stock of how your heart chakra is presenting right now. And what I want you to do is now just take a few deep breaths and allow all anxieties and all worries and all fears to just melt away. Just be in the energy of your own self, your own love for existing. Here we go. Start to feel that energy in your heart just open up a little bit more as you find gratitude for your life, knowing that your life is really amazing. You have so many opportunities. You are such a privileged individual. You have such amazing power. You have courageously fought through so many things. You have healed so much trauma. You have become this amazing warrior goddess who still is continuing to play the role of human instead of bursting out of her shell and showing everyone that she is a freaking star, setting ablaze the world in the highest frequency of love, because she knows that everyone deserves to live their highest potential. to live that dream that is on their heart. And you have a dream that's on your heart. So everyone, just for a second, now that we've all opened up our heart a little bit more, put your left hand on your heart and your right hand over it. Feel your heart beating underneath you. Take a second. You can even put your chin down. You can repeat after me. Hi, heart. How are you doing today? It's been a while since I've talked to you, huh? Heart, what is it that you desire most from me? How can I serve in the highest capacity of your love? Ongore vele ningolo shonongolongo veya veya noche bachiangoe. Hangon tori avayo. Ue vario. Ue vario bari. Dasa, we to Budi Shidu Butiu Abadeo Ambade Guriu Viu Ambotigono Sigeji Obiantion Obiam Botigia Sina Noche Bate Hero Angaleve Orevena Hongo Sovece Basinici Penko Valeteo Avadega Samanote Everio Shole Banekana Aroveno Amo Herea Oe Oe Veriura Wasyata Guru Viriru Sutinama Guru Wahe Guru Ambandiri Uviri Amba Uichiande Goviri Ungoli Pirasa Uiri Ushipatigana Iviri Usubachitiga Uvitiri Iri Usu Uiri Bia Just allow Quan Yin's pink dragon to blow over you. Her pink flames that just immediately disintegrate and incinerate all lower vibrations, releasing with unconditional love all judgments, all cords, all bindings, all contracts that are not in the highest alignment of unconditional love and your divine will. Your divine mission here to serve in the highest frequency of love all day, every day. And now allow the emerald dragon to come in, and she's going to get really, really small and actually fits into your little pocket. So imagine that you've got like a little pocket on your shirt, even if you don't. And you're going to just keep that emerald dragon there to remind you that you always have that resource, that you always have so much love and abundance in your heart, that you are fully supported, and that everything that you could ever want or need in this life is right there for you already, because you think in vibration with love and service and gratitude. Go ahead and take a few moments to say thank you to Quan Yin's pink dragon. Thank you to any guides, ancestors, beings of lights, intergalactic star seeds, inter-earth beings, anyone else who might have shown up during this. And go ahead and take a moment, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Remembering that we do not ground after dragon invocations because we are learning how to expand our energy. This vibration you are feeling right now in your body is your natural homeostasis. It is your personal frequency. So if you feel heaviness in your feet, go ahead and just take a second and push that heaviness down into Gaia. That is all of the toxins, all of the lower vibrations, all of that density is being forced down out of your feet chakra. So just take a second and push it all the way out into Gaia. Great. Awesome. So that's all you need. That's all the grounding you need to do. And it's not even grounding. It's pushing that old frequency down, and Gaia will instantly transmute it. Again, same thing as with incinerating the quartz. It's instantly transmuted into neutral energy, which then can be used to create something else. So now you just learn to live in this expanded consciousness and see how the world looks more beautiful, and how you can look at the freedom of your life and how it is right now, and start making those micro adjustments so that you can slowly but surely allow more unconditional love into your life, and therefore every day step into that higher version of you so that you truly become the person who has all the things that you want. And it doesn't matter that to other people you look selfish, and to other people you look like a crazy person, to other people you have this impossible dream and you're just Don Quixote chasing windmills. Because you know in your heart and in your soul and in the fiber of your being and in your bones that you are here serving a divine mission, and that you are willing to do whatever it takes, no matter what, until your goal is achieved. You're welcome, Michelle. So thank you for being here. Awesome 5/5 portal activation. I invite you, if you have any other, you've seen other people doing channelings or meditations, like just soak up this day, soak up all the information you can from it, and sit in some meditation for a little while. If you can, go out and enjoy some beautiful nature, do that as well. We are in sync. I was just at the shower. I think I'm going to make a melodic Om in my... Yes! So cool. Yeah, I love my dragon invocations. If you guys are interested, I do personal invocations. So you receive what I did right now, but it includes a card read with this deck as well as your own invocation. And we can dive deeper into what it is that you are needing in this right now. There's also my amazing Fearlessly Authentic Leaders group. We're still taking in founding members right now at a low, freaking ridiculously low rate right now before May, when I launch my Superconscious method and really take this whole thing to that next level that I just told you guys, like what I am literally in the middle of. That's why I love showing up for you guys, because I don't hold anything back. I tell you exactly how it is so that you know that your life is it's normal. It's normal for shit to break apart right when you are at the threshold of something really big. And of course, as always, there are other ways to work with me one-on-one if you need some really personal, bespoke, in like just right in there with you in the trenches, helping you to move to that next level, how to break out of this, oh, I don't know if I should, I don't know if it's really my mission, and step fully and boldly into your role as a global luminary. So any way that you want to reach out, I will leave some links afterwards. I love you all. Have a great day.